everybody. Today I want to dive into the Agentforce assets and how we can access them via the command line. Because as you all might know, deploying your assets from location A to B sometimes can become a very tricky undertaking. It can be done manually, there are a lot of tools to do it, but long story short, you better come prepared and have some familiarity with the assets you are deploying before doing anything else. So therefore, let's go to Agentforce as a start. And as you can see, when you have multiple agents in the UI, they will get listed under setup and agents. This is my demo organization. There's nothing useful in here, but you see the default Einstein Copilot and some agents me and my colleagues have created. Now, what you need to know is that an agent is constituted out of a lot of different components. As you might know, an agent has topics, potentially with prompts, actions linked to it, even some Apex code. So it's very important before you start deploying something, you need to have a good understanding of what is living in your org. So here we are in the terminal, and what I want to show you is the basics of interacting with your Agentforce assets. If you're not familiar with the SF package, it's very useful to interact via command line with your Salesforce org. In this case, you will always would want to log into one of your orgs. I have already done so, so I'm just going to double check that my correct default org has been selected, and then I am off to go. Of course, you always also need to create a Salesforce project. So with SF project create, you can set up your project when we are in need of retrieving actual assets later on. Now, first of all, an agent is a composition of technology that already existed in combination with some new GenAI LLM capabilities. So what metadata are we talking about when we talk about an agent? So with Salesforce org list metadata types, we should be capable of, I made a typo there, check what lives on our org. Our focus will be on the assets that start with GenAI. The labels are technical, but once you think about it, they make sense. So an agent actually is an orchestrator of different topics and different actions. So the name of your GenAIPlanner will be the label of how your agent sits in your UI. So for example, if we would run SF org list metadata GenAIPlanner, I expect to see all the agents that sit on my org. So let me spin this one up. So indeed, the labels, these 6 or 7 labels here correspond with my agent. Let me give you another example. Agents, of course, make use of prompts. So if I want to check which prompts that my agents are using, I can use GenAI prompt template, and I will get a list of all the prompts that live on my org. Another one for showing the topics would be GenAIPlugin. Not a lot of actual topics because a lot of my agents are empty for testing stuff, but normally all your topics should be listed here as well. Also, don't forget that technically for every agent you create, a bot label will exist. So bot and GenAIPlanner should be identical to each other. And if you, of course, in terms of deployments, also make sure that your Apex classes and custom functions are deployed as well. We might be talking about that later on. BigQuery. What else did we have? We have the GenAI. I think that was it. Okay, also, if you have flows, classic deployment also is relevant here. Now imagine that I want to look into some of my agents and how they have been configured. Remember, I have a few of my agents here. Then I could do something such as, let me see, SF project retrieve metadata, and I want to retrieve my GenAI planners. What did I type? Right, project retrieve start. Right, okay, it's fine. It should start. It doesn't find the project, so let us create one. Salesforce project create, and then the name, I'm gonna call it demo for now. It has been created. I will go to the directory users / my name / demo, and now I should be able to execute the retrieval which with the help of the correction gets executed correctly. What's happening right now? We are now literally taking the components from our org to the directory we have specified for the project. Note this is different than just the metadata asset label, which is just a reference to the asset. But when we would look into the actual path of what we have downloaded here, so VY, for example, this one, as I said, it's just a demo org, it's not going to be a lot of in there. But here we nicely see that all the instructions from the agent are actually viewable. So if I now go back, yeah, that's actually what I want to show. So to wrap up, I showed you that an agent is composed out of a lot of assets: flows, apex, topics, actions, prompts, the agent names itself, bots, and that you can interact with it via the command line using SF. And this, of course, will allow you to really carve out a deployment strategy, because, of course, there are dependencies. You need to think well about what to deploy first. But that is something we will talk about in one of our next videos. Hope to see you next time. If you have questions, put them in the comments. If you would like to see some other topics discussed, let me know via the comments as well. Bye bye.